What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, while we continue to get small official updates about Avengers Doomsday and from the actors, like the most recent from Tom Hiddleston that it is yet to be his turn to film for the upcoming Avengers installment, the industry insiders and rumor mill have been ablaze with tons of rumors about what's going on with the plot, especially real recently. Well, one of the newest anonymous Twitter scoopsters, James Mac WL, has weighed in with what his source has revealed is the mini plot description of what's going on as it pertains to Dr. Doom's plan and more specifically anchor beams. What's more, he talks about Franklin Richards tied into the story for Doom's plan, the resurrection of Wanda Maximoff, and how it connects to what's going on in the Fantastic Four. This one's absolutely crazy. We're breaking it all down, the newest details revealed about Avengers Doomsday, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing recently, and if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing you can do to support us as content creators, plus it'll enter you for the giveaways if you want. Stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so first up, the normal spoiler warning when we go over this kind of content. Guys, remember to take everything that doesn't come directly from Marvel Studios with a grain of salt. We've covered everything here at the channel, from trusted industry insiders, huge Hollywood trades like The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. Today's is certainly not that. And while we might give it a little more reverence because it's an anonymous Twitter scoopster than say one of those old anonymous 4chan plot leaks, still, just remember that in the past, some of these details that have floated around from said industry insiders have ended up being correct. So in that case, if this is in any way going to ruin your experience, just take it with a grain of salt, but also don't let it ruin it for you. Back out now if that's the case. Otherwise, you've been warned. And the source apparently is coming from the anonymous Twitter scoopster James Mac WL. Okay, so here's the general rundown for what's going on in Avengers Doomsday. Victor Von Doom's plan is to survive the end of everything and forge his own world. Basically, he's on to what's going on with the multiverse imploding. He sees all the timelines dying. He wants to survive all that, and in that, be the emperor of whatever's left. That's God Emperor Doom. Doom discovers that Earth 616 is the central sacred timeline held together by two anchor beams. He wants to eliminate them so that the sacred timeline will collapse more quickly. One of the anchor beams was Tony Stark. A lot of us suspected that, which means that the 616 we all thought was already on its way to dying. The other, apparently, is Peter Parker, which in the rear view really sort of changes all of those rumors that Doomsday and Avengers Brand New Day were going to run concurrently, that Tom Holland wouldn't even be in Avengers Doomsday because of what was going on with the release schedule for the two films, Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out after Avengers 5, and because of his shooting schedule this year. All of that apparently not the case. Doom apparently ends up sending an army of Doombots and generals to eliminate Peter Parker in the 616 as the last pillar and kill off that timeline. He then goes on to say that there are visual concepts that show Dr. Doom's ship as a colossal planet-like circular structure and that his mask is sculpted at the center of the ship. The storyline is said to actually connect directly to Brand New Day and that Peter Parker will indeed be a part of Doomsday. And again, I'll just briefly reference some of those rumors that said the whole reason they delayed Avengers Doomsday and reworked everything for filming is so that Tom Holland could be in Avengers Doomsday because of how important Peter Parker is to the central plot. This is seeming to confirm that. The source goes on to indicate that there's a whole thing with how Peter Parker sees Dr. Doom as Tony Stark. It's one of the main hooks for their story, hence he needs to be in it. He then goes on to say that Doom travels to the universe where Monica Rambeau is trapped. Again, at the channel, we think that that's just one big Fox 10,005 continuity with everybody. The Fantastic Four, Deadpool, Wolverine, a new version of the X-Men, Charles Xavier, Beast, Monica Rambeau, etc. And that his aim is to kill that universe's anchor, and that universe's anchor is Charles Xavier. Now, if this is one big 10,005 theory that we held at the channel, which is why I just brought it up, then this seemingly wouldn't make sense unless somehow Charles Xavier became the new anchor, because we know that the Wolverine that Deadpool brought in was replacing the anchor beam of that timeline. Seemingly it would be the new Wolverine. However, it's just a little bit weird now. It would be Charles Xavier, so maybe not the 10,005. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not dismantling that theory because of one or two plot leaks from Twitter users, but if that seems to be a running theme, blame, I mean, there's always a chance I'm not the one who's right. It just seems like it would be way easier for Marvel to do that. Either way, he goes on to say that he uses Sentry somehow as a power source for his new world. Now, with this update, I believe he's talking about Battleworld, and there was some concept art that people thought was Bucky, that we all kind of here at the channel thought was Sentry, that showed himself being chained up, and clearly the Russos have said that this isn't their artwork, so there's no leaks here and we can talk about it, and clearly we know that the Russos have denied things before, like Endgame being the title of the 4th Avengers installment, knowing that it's real, but considering they said it wasn't true, that seems to line up with this. But how he's using Sentry's power and what sort of way, what he's using as a conduit, isn't exactly clear, just that Sentry is very powerful. Dr. Doom would definitely want him on his side, but to power Battleworld, not really sure what he's implying by that update. But this is where things get absolutely nuts. He goes on to say that apparently Doom also needs the powers of Wanda Maximoff, and that he learns that the Scarlet Witch that we had in the 616 happens to be the most powerful Scarlet Witch across all realities. In that case, he plans on using Franklin Richards to resurrect her. Now, this is where I will issue the lightest of spoiler warnings for what's already been on the internet for weeks now as a full plot leak for the Fantastic Four. But hey, if you made it this deep, 6 minutes into an Avengers Doomsday leak, I'd assume you want to press forward. Either way, you've been warned. But there have been rumors that perhaps one of the Fantastic Four might end up dying at the hands of Galactus, and that after they defeat him, Franklin Richards might actually resurrect that member of the Fantastic Four. Now, people have theorized based on that plot leak that Dr. Doom showing up in the post-credit scene, as it's also been rumored, with an unconscious Franklin Richards in his arm inside the Baxter building, basically implies that because of his display of power, because Franklin Richards could resurrect someone, then now it's become consequential to Doom's plan. This would explain that plan is, hey, I need to resurrect Scarlet Witch and who knows what other dead superheroes across the multiverse on my way to conquesting to take over the multiverse. I'm still not understanding Sentry as powering a world after the multiverse has died, or how that may be tied to two other characters like, say, the most powerful Scarlet Witch and or Franklin Richards. I would rate both of them as more powerful than the Sentry. Yes, I know in the comics that the Sentry was able to defeat everybody and almost all at once. It was absolutely crazy. He is one of the most powerful characters, but I mean, if you're the most powerful Scarlet Witch across all realities, and then Omega level mutant Franklin Richards, come on. They would be maybe one or two of the best. Okay, even if you put Scarlet Witch right under Sentry, which sounds crazy to me, Franklin Richards still more powerful, right? So if you got Franklin Richards, what do you need with Sentry and Wanda? But maybe that is the plan. He's going after a bunch of dead, very powerful superheroes to resurrect them and put them on his side. How very Night King of him. Man, I am sort of curious about this plot leak. It sounds like there's a lot of details crammed in here, and while, you know, listen, these things are fun and maybe just better taken as theories, that's sort of the way I've always tried to spin them myself, is because, listen, whether it's right or it's wrong, how does it fit into the context of what we know about the story? Is it interesting? Is it plausible? Back in the day of Avengers Infinity War, especially Avengers Endgame, it was a little easier because things like Cap wielding Mjolnir was almost a surefire thing, and there were only a group of characters, say Thor, Nebula, because of the comics, Black Panther, Hulk, Doctor Strange, and maybe Iron Man, that were going to end up wielding the gauntlet anyway because of their power level or what makes sense for the narrative, and we were able to pretty easily theorize most of that at the channel prior. This is completely different territory because we are in a really weird place with Marvel again bringing back characters, some of which we haven't seen in decades, based on the loosest of canon and continuity here in just the last couple of years, mostly in post-credit scenes. It's a doozy, but you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Remember to hit the sub button, leave a comment down below for all the giveaways. Also, remember to stay vigilant against any spam at the channel and report any suspicious comments of people claiming to be content creators directly to YouTube. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel. Let's stick around. I'll be posting again real soon.